Waiting on You by Sara Bellcamp. Narrated by Krys Janae. Chapter 1. Meet Cute. Brandon Fyfe. I stared at the name on the gold star plastered to the door of the huge deluxe trailer, basically an uptown loft on wheels, and I couldn't help the sullen look on my face. You chose this life, I reminded myself all over again. This is the life you chose. Shuffling the clipboards in my arms in the dim light, I sidestepped a puddle on the ground to give way to several grips walking by carrying boom mics and equipment across the lot toward the only warehouse that was still bustling this late in the day. Stage 31. The fluorescent lights flickered and blinked on the light posts up and down the way, as if they too were already exhausted from being on all the time. It wasn't an entirely new feeling. Exhaustion had been on the job description at my last work too. Even though spending over a year as a temp, doing all sorts of jobs at all hours, all across the tri-state area, wasn't the distinguished life my family would have deemed acceptable. Not after working so hard with the just as sleepless nights in college, working on papers and projects to complete an illustrious degree in computer science. Really, it was Princeton's fault for offering one of the best computer and humanities programs in the country. So while I was working on my major, in what my friends would have called my typical overachieving fashion, I'd managed to take some units alongside to complete a degree in film studies as well. But some things in life you just couldn't help. My first love had always been film. Not the glitz and glamour of the limelight, though. Always fascinated by the process of creating movies, my dream was to be involved with everything that went on behind the scenes. To learn the magic, the ins and outs of what it took to produce Hollywood blockbusters. To get a privileged peek at the everyday workings of the biggest names in the industry, perhaps to be able to pick the brains of the best directors in the world, like Spielberg or Lucas. Something about that cliché line, "You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So instead of making use of my computer degree, much to my parents' chagrin, I passed up a chance at that lucrative career and spent the last year and a half trying to network, to grow my connections to break into the movie business. Though I still like to think I was diligent.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?